Love and light. Welcome back to Mystic Healing and Tarot by Nina. I'm Nina and I am back. I am here to deliver a very important message. This message has been put in my heart a long time ago, but it's almost like I've been getting little Easter eggs, and then in my mind, my earthly self wants to go ahead and do it. And then whenever I was going to go do it, I just didn't do it. And that was my higher self taking over. And it was because divine timing is truly everything. And we have to, I know I talk about on this channel, especially if you're one of my clients, you always hear me say that in order to get the things that we want, we have to surrender, which is giving up our free will, giving up our understanding, giving up whatever it is that we thought, and allowing God's way to come into play. And with that being said, I have an important message about, and I have a scenario. Okay. So have you ever tried to, or put a movie on for someone, and it's like, this is a really great movie, and you want this person to watch this movie, and maybe they're not really into it, and there's like this certain part in this movie coming up, and you know that you see that they're not paying attention, and you know that they need to pay attention, because if you don't see this one part, everything else in this movie is not going to make sense. And so every single time this part comes up, they miss it. So you gotta either rewind it back, or the person doesn't say anything, and then just end up with the whole movie not making sense. I use that scenario because that is a lot of the energy that is behind what is going on for us, especially in this next 6 months that we're moving out of, moving into 2022. Like, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There definitely is a presence of the higher. I feel like intervening in a lot of different ways, because this has been a long time coming. Especially, I feel like with a lot of us, was 2019. It's like 2019 makes me feel like the scenario that we were in the club, and some people, the club, the music was loud. Okay, some of us were in the club trying to get up out of there. Okay, some of us were in this club having the time of our life. Okay, some of us were in this club trying to find somebody, or that someone. Okay, and then when 2020 hit, the lights cut off. Okay, and so some of us got a harsh reality. Some of us saw our way out. Some of us saw what we didn't see with the people that we've been with this whole time. The person that you've been vibing with, chilling with this whole time, you didn't realize that baby was only cute in the dark. Okay? So that was what 2020 was. We got 2020 vision. We got a different vision. And this vision was a different perception as far as whatever we initially perceived. 2020 showed us that, no, it's not. And I feel like the whole purpose of that vision was to show us the higher power and show us that overall we're not in control. 2020 definitely showed us that we're not in control. The Most High is in control. However you want to call it. There's only one source, and source is definitely intervening. So with 2021 that we're in, I hear hindsight is 2020. Okay. And I feel like we are living in a time where it's like we have to move and act as if we know what that hindsight will be. You know what I mean? Like, if I would have known then what I know now. Okay? The other message that I've been getting that is very important, I've been getting it, I didn't understand it, but like I said, our perception, sometimes things have to happen in order for our perception of a meaning, for us to understand something versus understand. Because we understand things all the time, but when you understand it, it hits differently. There's compassion, there's empathy, there's love there, okay? So one of the things, and it was so funny when I picked up this deck, this is the word. I actually posted this on my social media last week because I've been hearing it over and I understood it in a different way. And this card, I feel like, shows and describes it in especially speaking for me. Okay, so the word that I got that is the most important thing that we need to be focused on right now is patience. This was at the bottom of the deck, patience. And patience, as you see, she's got her eyes covered. Okay, there's angel wings there. Okay, so there's blessings, there's protection, but her eyes are covered. Okay, and so to give my experience to, I don't know how it might help your experience. I was getting this word, and every time I would get it, I would think like, I'm being patient, God, like I'm waiting, whatever. But at the same time, there were certain things that I was completely, you know, blocking out that I wasn't counting as something that needed to be patient for. Um, and sometimes it's just being patient in a moment, being patient in a single moment, because the single moments add up to being absolutely everything that we need in those single moments. And for me, especially with this not being seeing everything, because this goes along with another message that I've been getting, that I've been receiving, that I want to share as far as people who are new into their spiritual journey and they're wanting to learn and understand, and they're wanting to, you know, venture out and get into different things. There's patience with that process. The spiritual journey overall is about patience. It's about patience to the surrender. Okay, things aren't going to unfold the way that you think that they're going to unfold. Like that Eternal Sunshine song by Janae Aiko. The more that I see, the more that I know I don't know anything. And that's for me, like the more that I see from doing readings. I see God so much. I feel like my relationship with tarot, I really learned God, how he moves and how he works. But even though seeing that, I don't know his perspective. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a human. I don't have those, I'm not capable of having his no. Okay? And because of that, there's patience needed as far as how he unfolds this no, this why. Okay? So for me, I was getting this patience card and I was like, what are you talking about? But at the same time, I was going through something where I was like, you know, doing the bookings and getting the work done that I had to get done, but I wasn't in a mood to do anything extra. And I don't know, at the time I didn't know why. I just felt like, girl, you're being lazy, whatever. But I feel like sometimes our higher selves take over without us knowing. And we have to, you know, accept and allow that at the same time, even though I unconsciously did it, whatever. So during this time, while I was not working, or like, you know, kind of getting down on myself at times because I wasn't being productive, what I was doing was running my mouth on the phone with my best friend. We was on FaceTime day in, all day, to where we was really not even having conversations. We were just basically pretending like we were together. And I lost my best friend last week. She passed away. And so many things in the 6 months prior have come full circle for me, and my understanding of things, and my understanding of God's path and his plan and his need for our patience is so important. Because even being a reader, even being a seer, we can only see what we're shown. And there is, the more that you see, the more humble you become, and knowing that we don't know past what the small bit that we've been told what's going to play out, and it's not for us to know, because everything isn't for you to know. So if you know the whole path and plan, one, you could ruin it. And we have to understand that what's faded is faded, and God will move things in certain ways so that faded things can happen. And it's not for us to see, it's not for us to understand in that moment, but it's for us to trust. It's for us to have faith in, you know what I mean, that higher perspective, that there is a better something on the other side of that. And I was just taking time to be very grateful that during that time, I saw a different perspective of patience, where God was saying, you know, not just patience with the job. Everything's not about work and money anymore. Be patient in this moment as far as embracing the last moments that you're about to have with your friend. Embracing every little piece of that, being patient in each moment. And I see now, I am cherishing every single second, every conversation, every eye roll, every single thing. I cherish it on a higher level, and I'm so glad that my higher self was able to step in. Even when I was getting down on myself, I understand I was still doing it. I was still doing what my spirit was calling me to do. And that's what spirituality is. It is doing and being what your spirit calls you to do. There's nothing wrong with a religion, because God has planted so many different resources and different temples or whatever, places of worship. So whatever tickles your fancy, there's something for everyone. There's a million types of bread, because there's a type of bread for everybody, for everybody's needs, to meet everybody's spiritual needs. There's something for everyone. But the most important thing is we can't stray from going by what everybody else does, going by the rules, going by what he said, she said, instead of going by what your soul and what your spirit has been speaking and saying to you. Because we're all created with a plan. We're all created with our own purpose and plan, and it is personal. And so you can't stray away from the blueprint or the rule book that is, the overall, because sometimes the rules don't apply to everybody. Sometimes favor isn't fair. Sometimes we don't deserve things that we think that we do. So we have to, I feel like, humble ourselves and understand that spirituality or whatever, the most important thing is knowing that there's only one God, there's one source, and there's no one above that. There's nobody above the power and control. Now that this power, this control, this love is a choice. We have a choice. He gives us a choice, and it's an absolute choice. So when we're waiting for God to intervene and, you haven't called on him, it's not that he's forgot about you. He's waiting for you to call, because it has to be initiated. You have to want things. You have to want the help. You have to want to receive it, because the definition of belief is a confidence and acceptance in something or someone. So you have to truly believe in him in order for him to do things and make moves beyond your understanding. And also the patience and the understanding isn't going to be initial. It's not going to be when you want it to be. It's going to be when it needs to be, because he knows what's best. And I fought with myself, because, it's like, damn, girl, how do you talk to dead people, and you didn't know that your own best friend? It wasn't for me to know. If I would have known, I had bad feelings in regards to her, and I didn't know why. But those feelings made me embrace her. They made me love her. They made me make sure that I kept her close, which was what was important, and made me have certain conversations with her that I'm glad that I had. But it didn't make me knowing more. One, it wouldn't have been productive for me for anything. Because one, I'm not into, I can't step in the way that things unfold in life. I can only do my part. And I don't even know what all my part is, because like all of us, we evolve. We're getting more and more as we go. Okay, so we have to have patience with that. Patience with the fact of, even though we want the bigger picture, but we can't always handle the bigger picture. And sometimes when we catch sight of it, we try to, in our minds, based off our perception, critique and do all these different things, and it could be prolonging and pushing it away further, because we are again not trusting. We are again, trying to have control over things that are not our control. We can just really have faith and trust overall. And so that's the biggest thing that I'm getting, that God needs our awareness in the moment, our faith, okay, believing without seeing, meaning you don't need to see anything. Now, I feel like tarot, people don't always have the correct understanding of it as far as what it is supposed to be used for. It's not supposed to be used for things that you just want to know just because you want to know, because you just want to know. You don't get to do that. Like, you get to know what you need to know. Because a lot of times when we're told things that we think we want to know, we do nothing with them. Okay, I have a million times when people will get readings. I want to know about this person. Okay, they're not a good person, but you're still with this person. So what was the point of knowing if we don't do anything? You know what I'm saying? Like we're seeking things, but for what? What are we doing with the knowledge? Nothing. So what? Why should I keep giving you knowledge that you do nothing with, and that you're not putting? You know what I'm saying? There has to be work. Like the thing that I was saying before with the pick a card readings and um, one, like I said, using tarot to use it as a confirmation for the intuitive downloads that you have already received from God, for clarity of the messages that you've received from God, the advice as far as in the moment, what is the best way for me to move from what I've received from God. We've got to stop going to tarot and stop taking it lightly and stop taking superficial things to it, because it's not anything to be taken lightly. It's not a game. It's not for fun. It's not for your own personal, you know what I mean, want to be detective nosy. Um, it's something to use for guidance from, above. It's something to use for clarity. It's something to use for personal development and growth and understanding. Okay, or you know what I mean, as a tool to talk to God. And even though like I read cards, I get readings from other people to confirm what I got, because our and I definitely think that we should always look for confirmations, because our perception sometimes will, lead us astray. Okay, so we kind of have to take things. I don't want to say a grain of salt, but I want to say with a mustard seed. Okay, so even though it's small, there's so much that comes from those small things, and it's just definitely to take heed to those things, because especially with my experience, I feel like I had so many Easter eggs and so many things where it's like everything comes full circle, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I listen to my intuition and don't let my human self talk me out of things that I don't understand. Um, it you know what I mean? Because it has put me in a place where it's like, this is why I chose to trust God, because I know God talks to my intuition. Okay, and so if I trust my intuition, I'm gonna always be making the moves that I need to be making in the moment. And with that being said, there's nothing to fear or there's nothing to regret, because in that moment I did what was best for me in that moment. Okay, so okay, that's that was the message that I just wanted to get as a little spiritual message I've been wanting to put out there. There's a lot of messages that I want to put out there, but my heart is definitely in a really heavy place. Um, I did make my best friend, I made her a promise that I would start making videos, that I would start taking things more seriously, start being more productive, as I was being not productive with her. But I also have to allow myself time to adjust to the new, patience, trusting the process, um, and really just see what this present moment, because I'm seeing like these present moments have so much in them, and it's hard to keep track of everything when you're really paying attention. When you're not so much focused on the past and you're not too fixated on the future. When you're really just soaking up every single thing in that moment. That is going to be important, because the energy that we're moving towards is, we're currently in a Pluto retrograde, which started, I believe, April 26th. Pluto is a planet of darkness. Pluto is a planet of shadows. It's a planet of death. It's a planet of transformation. It's a planet of change, okay? It's a planet of, virus. It's a planet of deceit in some ways. But it is also the planet that represents regeneration, rebirth, renewal, okay? So when Pluto, with those energies, when it goes into retrograde, it brings a lot of our triggers out. If you notice on Facebook or social media, people have been real triggered. They've been real touched. They've been in their feelings. And I've been wanting to tell y'all, these are personal things that you need to deal with personally, not being rude, but it's the Pluto retrograde, friend. This is why you're in your feelings. This is why you're triggered. This is why, you know what I mean? This is why. But this isn't happening for no reason. It's happening because these triggers are blockages that you need to deal with, because on the other side of blockages is blessings, okay? And I definitely believe that 2022 is going to be a year full of blessings. But I feel like coming out of 2021 is going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of change. It's going to be a lot of death. It's going to be a lot of, things going through regeneration. It's going to be a lot of rebirths. There are going to be a lot of different changes, awakenings that are going to be happening over this time. What you want to call it, spiritual warfare, whatever you want to call it. It is basically, undercover boss, spiritual style, because I definitely feel like our integrity, our belief system, our faith system are all being tested. We're on an undercover boss, a hidden camera show. It's the Truman Show, okay? And we are very lost, and like, even though we know that we're lost, we're even more lost than we think, because we are lost in, so many of us are lost in our perception of God. So many of us are lost in using God and religion and all that and spirituality as a weapon versus using it as a tool, using it as love, using it, for the greater good. And I feel like that's something, our compassion for each other. Overall, that's what's going on in the world. There's no compassion. We only, can feel for things when, a lot of us, I'm an empath, so I can't relate. But if we've been in a relatable situation. And so you want to keep in mind, like, what goes around comes around, the wheels turn. And hindsight's 2020. Be mindful of the way that you move and act in this transit, because maybe, there's a moment where you set up to give somebody compassion that maybe you feel like they don't deserve it, but you could be heading towards a moment where you want understanding and you want compassion and it's not there, okay? So we have to be mindful of those, because that's what this is. That's what this Pluto retrograde is. It's the getting it out, okay? For regeneration, getting those karmic traits, those karmic patterns. The other retrograde that we have going on is the Mercury retrograde. Okay, Mercury is a planet of communication. It's a planet of travel. It's a planet of technology. It is the planet of our mind, our thoughts. Okay, it is a fast-moving planet. So, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it before in a video, but retrograde is when a planet gives the illusion that it's spinning counterclockwise instead of clockwise. So it's like things go AWOR. Things go, give the illusion that they're, all over the place, but it's also to get our attention on certain things. Because these things need to be reevaluated, because I feel like, in a sense, there's a judgment day coming, and it may not be the perception of what we have seen or know as judgment day, but it is also, I feel like it's definitely a judgment day as far as our discernment, our integrity, and all of those things, and the decisions and the choices that we make within those moments, making better choices. And when I say these things, myself is included, okay? I'm just a messenger. I'm just an oracle. I literally, a lot of times, be listening to the advice myself, like, dang, that's good advice. Okay? So, with the Mercury retrograde, you can expect hearing from people from the past. You can even, especially now, you can expect from old jobs reaching back out to you. You can expect for you to have car issues, AC issues, any type of electronics going wonky, not acting correctly. You can go with, not having poor communication issues where you weren't reading the fine print, issues where you can't reach people, you can't get in touch. Or like for me, I don't know why every time retrogrades and Mercury come around for me, like I will pick up the phone, read the message, attempt to text you, and I don't know what happens after that. I don't know what happens after that. So with this being said, again, this is a moment for us to evolve and repeat. With those past things, this is about us using that 2020, that hindsight, and moving in the correct way, because also it's a lesson, it's a test to, have you learned, have you evolved, or are you going to repeat it? Or if the situation is revisited, are you going to change your perception and allow there to be some closure that maybe you initially thought that you weren't going to get, but you could get it during these times because it's very unexpected, okay? The other thing we got going on is Saturn retrograde. Saturn, I'm not going to lie, I don't remember when they went into retrograde. It was last month sometime. Saturn is all about discipline. It's all about knowledge. It's wisdom. So our discipline retrograde. So some people could be having issues where they're not being very disciplined, or they are really looking at, their career, or wanting to go back to school, or not knowing what, especially during the retrograde. When it comes to career, when it comes to, your stability and all those things, you could be having a cloudy period as far as not knowing what you want to do. And this is a period, even though it's cloudy, it seems cloudy, it's something for you to take advantage of, because this revision, this relook offers things that maybe we didn't see the first time, or maybe we weren't understanding. Especially if you get readings, you ever listen to the reading right when you get it, and then later on you listen to it again, and it's like, oh, it makes all the sense, or I never noticed that part, or I wasn't listening, I don't remember her saying, you know what I'm saying? Those type of things that maybe we miss. Going back and really revisiting a situation from that hindsight position. So take advantage of that during retrograde. But also with this Mercury retrograde, I want y'all to make sure, like, saging your house for those electronics and stuff, because I feel like it's like unsettled, very energetic energies that like be making stuff break. So sage your cars. I always tell people to put sage. If you don't have sage, just sprinkle salt. Do a cleanse of your cars or whatever. Be very mindful during travel during the Mercury retrograde. Also, traveling in cars, there could be small fender benders. Just be very mindful of all of those things. And then on June 20th, we're going to be coming out of the Mercury retrograde on the 22nd, but going into the Jupiter retrograde, which Jupiter is about growth. It's about expansion. And so this is big energy all coming together, but I feel like this is like, one of those things where it's like, oh, all of the corporate folks are in the building at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's about to go down. Okay, all of the corporate offices with these retrogrades. Look at it like that. All corporate headquarters are in the building at this point. And like I said, this is a moment for us to look at our discipline, replan things. But the biggest thing is like learning yourself, not trying to do what everybody else does or what everybody else says, like literally what works for you. What is your calling? What, you know what I mean? How do you do things well? And it's also getting away from doing things to please other people, but mainly just trying to do things to please God, doing the best that you can in a moment, how you are directed by Him to do it. And now, like with this, I feel like some people are going to be tested as far as doing what you feel like God is calling you to do, but also feeling like undecided because you feel like this calling goes against what is acceptable with maybe your community, the people around you, okay? But this is, again, a test, like I said, to these belief systems. Do you trust me or do you trust them? Are you trying to please God or are you trying to please everybody else? Do you want to make them happy or do you want to make God happy? Because that's what it boils down to. Because at the end of the day, we could talk that talk all day long. But when it comes down to it, when I call you, are you going to pick up? Or are you going to send it to junk mail and act like you didn't get it and then only hit me up next time, when you need something? No, we cannot have this. This is why corporate is in the building right now, okay? So, be mindful with these retrogrades. Also, with this solar full moon eclipse that is going to be tomorrow on the 10th. This is a powerful new moon. New moons is about reset, recharge, refresh, regenerate, recharge. Really take advantage of this because there is a solar eclipse. So I feel like this is a powerful charge towards something new, new beginnings, fresh slates, but also most importantly, new understandings. This is going to be new understandings and new ways of communicating our understandings. Being more mindful of our communications. Because sometimes, for some of us, myself included, sometimes it's not it's not the root of what's communicated, it's how it's communicated. And maybe you could talk to this person that way and they totally get it, but this person doesn't get it, okay? So it's about, that clear communication and learning that we have to be multidimensional in our ways of communicating. Okay, win-win forecast. Win-win outcome is on the forecast. So, there is balance, there is fairness coming in, there's justice that's coming in with this, and it's a Libra energy. So this could be Libras involved, but I feel like this is fairness. For some of you guys, this could be like child support stuff. I don't just know. Something court related, but I feel like it's a win-win outcome, because for some of you guys, like I said, it could be court related, but it's like maybe something bad, you feel like something bad happened, like maybe you got pulled over, you got a DUI, but that you getting that DUI that night saved your life. If you wouldn't have got locked up, you would have, you know what I'm saying? Those type of things. There's a win-win forecast. There's balance. There is clearing of karma. There is fairness that comes in with this new moon. I don't know if I said full moon. I've been meaning to say new moon. Have I been saying full moon? It whatever you call it, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, spirit be speaking. So maybe, you know what I'm saying, this new moon is beginning, but I also feel like the full moon obviously is going to be important because this card says full moon. But this is the new moon read, okay? So stop confusing me. Let me look at, see how my cards all over the place? Freaking retrograde. Fuck you, messy ass Mercury. Excuse my language. Okay. Step out of your comfort zone. North Node. This is another thing that I've been talking about. The best thing that you could be doing right now is getting into astrology. If you were trying to healing yourself, you got to know yourself. I feel like astrology, your birth chart is literally, it's your, like, it's like a cheat sheet to who you are. That, you know what I mean, it was pre-written. I've learned and healed myself so much through just my birth chart. Now, your North Node on your birth chart is your destiny. This is the path that you have to get on in order to be your great self, okay? This is an important energy as far as a renew, a refresh, okay? Getting out of your comfort zone is going to feel very uncomfortable. Getting out of your comfort zone means that you're not going to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just so that you're not as comfortable as you were before, but you're still comfort. Now, getting out of your comfort zone means getting out of a place that you are comfortable and knowing that there is so much strength and growth and all those wisdom, all those things that we pray for when we step out of our comfort zone, okay? That's what this new moon, the energy, because that comfort zone, that step, that initiation could be bringing a lot of justice. It could be clearing justice. It could be clearing karma for a lot of people. And for some of us, with stepping out of the comfort zone, it involves making a sacrifice. And the way that some of you are perceiving this sacrifice is much larger than it is, because it's a test. It's like, I might make you think you got to give this up, but it's not about giving it up. It's about surrendering. And I want to see if you're going to do it. I want to put you in that place to see, you know what I mean? Do you just talk, or are you really down? And know that's a test. So have that in mind, okay? Using these types of things for when you are in those scenarios, because this is definitely coming up. There's going to be some, the answers that you need are coming, full moon in Gemini. So this communication, I feel like this is communication from for some of you guys, this could be something where it's like it was a two-faced person or a two-faced situation, or you heard two different things, or you've been indecisive. It's like a two-way thing, but it's like the answers that you need, the decisions. And I feel like this is coming when we come out of this Mercury retrograde, and definitely moving closer towards fall, okay? Because there's a lot going on. Pluto retrograde, I said it goes to October. That's a big one. Oh, Jesus. Wait a minute. Okay, the final card. What did I say? Hello, Nina Be Knowing. Your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. Your commitment, your faith, your belief system, your trust, all of those things is being tested. Okay? And so the answers that, for some of you guys, the answers that you need are coming because of, you know, how you play this. Some of you guys, this could be two-faced. Like, you could be, okay, this is what you say, this is how you portray yourself. This is, you know, how you use these things, but it's just a gift of gab. It's just talk. Okay? So, know that this is not, we're done talking. We're done talking. This is all about action in this season. And you need to be making so many mental moves, so many mental plans that you don't have time to talk. You should be paying so much attention in that moment, in the current moment, that it's not about just, you know, talking just to talk. It's about what we have to show. What do we have to show for it at the end of the day? That's the energy that's making me feel like that. That end of the day. Be bold, make the first move, cardinal moon. So for some of you guys, like I just said now, the end of the day, that YOLO, that only chance, that second chance, that last chance. Be bold. If you knew that God was going to support this move fully, how would you move? Okay? If you knew that everything that you ever wanted was on the other side of the sacrifice, how would you move? Okay? So this is saying to step outside of that comfort zone, to be resilient, to persevere, and be bold and make that move. Be the first one to do it. Be the person, you know what I mean, that changes the game. Because, like I said, we got too many sheep. We don't have enough goats. And we need people who are willing to be the goat, willing to maybe make a sacrifice to look a certain type of way for a higher reason. Or people who we're willing to put ourselves in a position that maybe other people don't think that it's deserved. Like I say, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And that's important for us to know, like, because some of you guys with those callings, you're like, no, because I don't have, why would I get this and I don't have this? Because he didn't call you, this was already in you, okay? It's just about unlocking this part of you, okay? We are so qualified in ways that we don't understand because our perception makes us think and see things from such a small space. And with more healing and more self-love, that perception, that vision, that third eye, it can open up and be able to see things from a wider range and be in a place of where we flow, where we trust, where we don't worry, where we are really knowing that, no, we don't know exactly where we're going, but we know that there's signs everywhere. And so we know that we're going to follow the sign. And that's what's most important. Not knowing exactly what the destination is, but knowing that in the moment, as long as we're paying attention, that's everything that we need as far as what we need to know for moving forward. Okay? So this is a message that I get for you. I hope I wasn't rambling too much. I do that sometimes when I channel. But I am so happy that if you did stay this long, please like, share, subscribe this video. It means so much to me. Also, love on your friends, love on your families. Know that, at the end of the day, it's the love, it's the feelings, it's the emotions. It's those things that are most important. It's those little things that we don't pay attention to that end up being those big things. So that's why it's so important. Be present. Make that time. Be bold. Step out of our comfort zone, step out of our pride, step out of our ego, and really surrender and just allow God to be, really God. Allow God to be God, and see how beautiful the moments are when we just allow. Because I'm hurting, I miss my friend, I'm adjusting to the new, adjusting to the loss of the physical, which is hard. I'm a human. I'm adjusting to that. But I know energy doesn't die. You know what I mean? It transforms. And so I am grateful that I got the moments, and I'm grateful for every little thing that I didn't think were little things at the time. I'm so grateful for all those things. And so I just want to share that message of make that time, share that love, share gratitude, love people for who they are, love them through their problems, love them through their drama, love them through all of those things, because that's what really ends up making the change is love. And allow yourself to just be present in the moment with those people that you love, allowing them to be themselves and allowing yourself to be yourself, okay? Because that's important. So I wish you guys all the best, and God bless.